So if you're wondering something that superstar players have been able to figure out mentally that you might not have figured out yet, it's how to bounce back from failures and mistakes. So I see so many different players at so many different levels, whether it's players I work with, players I study, whether it's NHL level, whether it's pro, college, junior, minor hockey, whatever it is, so many players struggle with the ability to get into a clear mindset after they mess up. A lot of times we automatically jump into this super negative mindset, and I know so many players that if they have a bad first shift, the whole rest of the game is ruined. If you are like that, I'm going to break down how to break out of this mindset and get to the next level with your mental game. So when it comes to playing the way that you want to play, when it comes to being able to bounce back from a failure or a mistake, the first thing is to realize that a failure or a mistake is by definition something you didn't want to have happen. So if you didn't want to have something happen and it does, oftentimes we get mad because it's not in alignment with the things we're trying to control. So if you're trying to be a good hockey player, you mess something up in the game and maybe let's say you don't score on a shot or you turn the puck over, well, automatically you're going against the identity that you've tried to build. So the second you feel that, you say, okay, well, that doesn't align with it. Now I'm going to be frustrated. And a lot of times we have these things take us over. And this is what I call a mental program. And what I mean by this is that a program is like something that runs in a computer. When you press a button to open up, let's say, Safari or Google Chrome, and you press that button, the program runs on the computer. The same thing happens in hockey and in your mind. So when something happens, a button is pressed and a thought comes out. It's actually an emotion, a thought, and then an action. And those three things always connect in some way. And so you want to pay attention to, if you have a really strong response to something consistently, like you get really frustrated when you fail, or you have really negative thoughts when you make a mistake, well, then you have to first of all start to realize that that is a mental program that is running and it's being triggered by the failure or the mistake. So instead, if you want to start making better plays and bounce back right away, you have to very quickly accept that you are not going to be perfect. And it's a crazy thing sometimes for people to realize, but oftentimes we get wired from a young age that we can't make mistakes, we can't screw things up. And if we do, a lot of times we have a very negative bias in our memory. So we remember a lot of the mistakes and the bad things we've done. A lot of times it's because we had a really strong emotion associated with it. We remember things that have stronger emotions connected to it most often. And so if you want to actually bounce back, accept that you will make mistakes in the future, things will not go perfectly, and that there's no such thing as a perfect game. There's no such thing as exactly the thing you wanted to happen. And so if you can get it out of your mind that mistakes are a problem, and instead you want to see that mistakes are an opportunity to actually get feedback for your subconscious mechanism. Now, what do I mean by subconscious mechanism? Well, you have an automatic system in your body and brain, well, really in your brain, that knows exactly what to do. If you go and try to sprint down the stairs right now, why don't you fall? Well, the reason you don't fall is because you have an automatic system going on. It's a mechanism that knows what to do. You don't have to instruct every joint, ligament, and tendon in your body to do exactly the movements to go down the stairs. And if you did, you'd fall before you even got to the stairs, because it's so complex what your body can do. And yet we don't realize how complicated the actions are that our body completes every single day. We also have automated systems to keep us alive just generally, right? We a lot of times forget that we have this amazing body that is able to do so much. The heart beats, the lungs function, the organs digest without us even thinking. But we also have these automatic processes that get carried out when we're on the ice, when we're doing anything physically in the world, we're moving around. And so what you want to realize is when you make mistakes, mistakes are not a problem as long as you learn from them. The issue is that if you make a mistake and then you don't absorb any lesson from it, then there's an issue. So what you need to do is be willing to make mistakes. You need to be willing to accept that you're not going to make the perfect play every time, but instead, when you do something that doesn't work, when you make a mistake or something isn't exactly the way you want it to be, it is going to give your subconscious mind feedback. Just like when you take a wrong step on something and then you learn, okay, don't step there next time. That's something that happens automatically. You don't always have to tell yourself. When you were like a baby and you were learning to walk, your body figured it out. But how did it figure it out? It tried, and then it would fall, and it tried, and it would fall, right? And then eventually you started to realize, okay, I can take a little bit more time, and I can stand up, and I got my balance. Then I can take a step, and then I can take a step. And this is what you're trying to do. This is the key to everything. If you can learn how to be able to accept the mistakes and understand them as quick feedback to feed the subconscious mechanism, well, then there you go. You are going to get better. That's your subconscious training ground. That is what's going to make you the player you want to be. But you have to be somebody who accepts that if you don't make the perfect play, it is a lesson, and you are going to learn from it automatically. Now, if you want to accelerate this process, here's what I have every one of my clients do. After a game and you make a mistake, you want to watch the film back, and then you want to write down all of the things that you want to adjust. Now, write them all down and have them in a list. We have like a training tracker that we do with everybody that allows them to keep organized. Then take 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, and visualize these 10 times each. So it's going to give you around 140 reps of each of those things you wanted to adjust in your mind. So you want to learn how to visualize, obviously, but then once you learn how to visualize and you master that tool, you then stack this stuff in. When you realize that you can do 140 reps per week and you can level up your ability very quickly, it changes everything. This is what allows players to separate extremely quickly when they do my programs, is because they start to realize that they've been missing out on all these clear actions that align their identity with who they want to be. So if you want to reprogram your identity and make an identity shift, you want to shift who you are as a player, well, you have to shift the habits that you have. And the habits can only be shifted if you start to give your brain, your automatic mechanism, a clear set of instructions of what to do. So you have to give it clear instructions. And those instructions are the visualizations you do, that you have strong emotions while you do them so they feel real. And if you can master that, you will become such a good player so fast. You will accelerate your development faster than you've ever done before. But you have to obviously do the work, and obviously whenever you can, you want to do the physical work. Train before practice, train after practice. But this mental stuff is what is going to separate you, because no one's doing it right now, and it's going to get you ahead. So I hope this helps. I hope this allows you to make that jump and push yourself for the second half of the season, or wherever you are. It's just currently halfway through the season right now in 2023. So I hope you guys have a great day, and make sure you subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more videos like this, and scroll back in the feed and check out the other ones we've made. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.